In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where the Imperium of Man teeters on the brink of annihilation, assailed by a galaxy seething with Xeno's abominations, warp-spawned nightmares, and the treachery of heretics, one force stands unyielding: the Space Marines. These towering titans of war, the Adeptus Astartes, are the Emperor's ultimate weapons. Not born of cradle or womb, but sculpted from mortal clay into transhuman paragons, through a crucible of science, suffering, and unrelenting resolve. Their creation is a tale steeped in blood and shadow, a saga of genetic alchemy, brutal trials, and the Emperor's indomitable dream to forge humanity's salvation. This is the exhaustive chronicle of how a mere boy ascends to become a Space Marine. A journey of sacrifice and transformation, so visceral, so awe-inspiring, it's tailor-made for the deepest dives into Warhammer 40,000 lore. Buckle up, because this is no fleeting tale. It's a descent into the heart of the Imperium's most sacred and savage ritual. Imagine Terra in the twilight of the Age of Strife, a shattered world of ash and ruin, its skies choked with the dust of 1,000 forgotten wars. From this desolation emerged the Emperor, a figure of godlike intellect and unfathomable power, his piercing gaze fixed on a singular purpose: to drag humanity from the abyss and reclaim the galaxy. He saw a universe aflame, orc hordes rampaging, Eldar scheming in their dying webs, and the Chaos Gods gnashing their teeth in the warp's roiling depths. Mortal men could not stem this tide, their frail bodies and fleeting lives crumbled before such horrors. The Emperor's first answer was the Thunder Warriors, hulking brutes who crushed Terra's techno-barbarian lords with fists of iron and hearts of fire. But they were a flawed prototype, their minds fraying, their bodies burning out like candles in a storm. He needed more: warriors eternal, forged not just for Terra, but for the stars. Deep beneath Terra's scarred crust, in labyrinthine vaults carved from bedrock and sealed with adamantine gates, the Emperor labored in secrecy. His hands, guided by a mind that spanned millennia, wove the primarchs, 20 sons, each a genetic symphony crafted from his own divine essence. They were to be his generals, his champions, each a living echo of his will. Guilliman's cold logic, Sanguinius's angelic grace, Horus's boundless ambition. Clad in gestation pods, they grew in sterile light, their forms perfect, their potential limitless. But the Chaos Gods, those jealous architects of ruin, struck. With a howl of warp-born malice, they tore the primarchs from their cradles, scattering them across the galaxy like seeds on a cursed wind. The Emperor's wrath was a silent inferno, but his resolve unshaken. From the wreckage of his grand design, he harvested their genetic templates, distilling them into the gene seed, a sacred elixir, the cornerstone of the Space Marines. Thus were born the Legiones Astartes, legions of warriors tethered to their lost primarchs, poised to ignite the Great Crusade and forge humanity's empire among the stars. So how does a boy become one of these angels of death? It begins not in sterile labs, but in the brutal cradle of survival. The Imperium spans 1,000,000 worlds, and from its harshest corners come its greatest sons. Picture Fenris, a frozen hellscape where blizzards howl like banshees and wolves the size of tanks stalk the ice. Or Catachan, a jungle death world where every vine hides venom and every shadow a predator. Or Necromunda's underhives, where hive scum claw for scraps amid rust and rot. These are the proving grounds, where recruiters, chaplains and sergeants clad in ceramite hunt for the worthy. The aspirants are boys, aged 10 to 14, their bodies malleable, their spirits yet to break. Why only boys? The gene seed, a relic of the Emperor's ancient craft, is keyed to male physiology, its hormones, its chromosomes, a mystery lost to time, binding the Astartes to a brotherhood of sons alone. The selection process is a meat grinder of the soul. Each Space Marine chapter crafts its own trials, rituals of pain and perseverance that weed out the frail with merciless precision. On Fenris, the Space Wolves unleash aspirants into the test of Morkai. Stripped naked, armed with nothing but a crude spear, they must hunt a Fenrisian wolf through snowdrifts that swallow men whole, their frostbitten fingers clutching at survival. The blood angels of Baal send their hopefuls across the angels' fall, a desert of cracked earth and radioactive winds where thirst gnaws at their throats and vultures circle overhead. The ultramarines, sons of Gilliman, favor the trials of Ultramar, grueling duels of blade and mind where aspirants spar with servo drones or solve tactical riddles under simulated fire. Failure is not pitied, it's fatal. Bodies litter the wilds, torn by claws, baked by suns, or broken by exhaustion, grim monuments to those who faltered. The survivors, bloodied and unbowed, earn the title of neophyte, their first step into the abyss. The true metamorphosis begins in the fortress monasteries, sprawling citadels of Gothic stone and flickering lumens, where the air hums with the chants of servo skulls and the clang of forge hammers. Here, apothecaries, half surgeons, half priests, wield blades and gene forges, their hands steady as they enact the Emperor's will. The gene seed, harvested from the progenoids of fallen marines, is the sacred spark, each sample a link to a primarch's lineage, preserved in reliquaries and blessed with incense. The implantation process stretches over years, a gauntlet of surgeries that push the body to its brink. The neophyte's flesh is no longer his own. It's a canvas for transcendence, and failure means death beneath the scalpel. Let's peel back the layers of this brutal rite, organ by organ, as a boy is reborn. At 10 to 12, it starts with the secondary heart. Implanted beside the natural one, this fist-sized engine thunders with unnatural vigor, doubling circulation. A space marine can fight with a chest pierced by shrapnel, his blood still flowing, or march through airless voids where mortals choke. Next, the os modula. A gland no bigger than a knuckle latches to the spine, secreting hormones that twist the skeleton. Bones thicken to ceramite density, limbs stretch to towering heights, and the ribcage fuses into a solid breastplate, deflecting blades like armor. The dibiscopia, a pulsing nodule in the chest, floods the body with growth signals, swelling muscles into cords of steel. Neophytes bulk from scrawny youths to hulking giants in months. By 13, the enhancements grow stranger. The hemastamen rewires the blood, enriching it with oxygen carriers. Marines sprint for hours, their lungs barely taxed, their stamina a legend. Lariman's organ, a fleshy lump in the torso, churns out clotting cells that swarm to wounds like vengeful spirits. Cuts seal in heartbeats, a gash vanishing as foes reel in shock. The catalepsian node, a neural implant in the brain, rewrites sleep itself. They stay awake for weeks, or rest half their mind while the other watches, a predator's vigilance honed for war's endless grind. At 14, the priomnor, a second stomach, coats the gut, neutralizing toxins so they can devour rancid meat or alien gruel without a grimace. The omophagia, a spinal graft, is a gift from the shadows. Eating an enemy's flesh unlocks fragments of memory, letting them speak a Xenos tongue or recall a battle plan with a single bite. The multi-lung ua, a third bellows in the chest, filters poisons and breathes underwater. Marines wade through gas clouds or sunken ruins, death turned to a playground. The oculobe morn sharpens their eyes to raptor keenness, spotting a glint of steel miles away, while Lyman's ear tunes their hearing, isolating a whisper amid a battlefield's roar. 15 brings the Susan membrane, a brain sheath that triggers a death-like trance under mortal wounds. Metabolism slows to a crawl, preserving them for centuries until aid arrives, a miracle of endurance. The Mani melanochrome pigments their skin, shifting hues to defy radiation, pale under dim stars, dark beneath cruel suns. The oolitic kidney purges toxins from the blood, a relentless sieve, while the neuroglottis amplifies taste and smell. They track prey by a whiff of sweat or a drop of oil. The amacronoidin secretes a waxy film, cocooning them against the void's chill or a furnace's blaze. At 16 to 18, the final pieces fall into place. Betcher's gland, chitachin, fills their saliva with acid. Spit becomes a weapon, melting armor or blinding foes in a sizzling hiss. The baprogenoids, twin glands in neck and chest, mature over a decade, storing gene seed for the chapter's future. Harvested only when the marine falls, a legacy in flesh. The Barbar black carapace, a neural mesh under the skin, links them to their power armor. Ceramite plates become an extension of their will, moving with predatory grace. For the new breed Space Marines, the process leaps further. Born of Archmagos Belisarius Coil's millennia-long toil, they receive 3 more organs. The sinew coils. Metallic threads in their limbs amplify strength to crush steel barehanded. The Magnificat, a brain splinter, accelerates growth, stretching them past 8 feet, giants among giants. The Belisarian furnace, tied to their hearts, ignites in crisis. Adrenaline and regeneration surge, knitting wounds as they charge through hellfire. These are the Emperor's new breed, towering over their firstborn brothers, forged for an age of despair. Surgery is but the foundation. The mind must be as unbreakable as the body, tempered through a gauntlet of training and indoctrination. Neophytes wield bolters, guns that fire rocket-propelled shells, landing shots at 2 kilometers with unerring aim. Chainswords rend steel in their hands, their enhanced reflexes a blur of death. They run laps that kill mortals, lift boulders that crush tanks, their multi-lungs heaving in sync. Tactical drills pit them against holograms of orcs, tyranids, or chaos marines. Every scenario a lesson in slaughter or strategy, their minds sharpened to outwit the galaxy's worst. Hypnotherapy sears loyalty into their souls. Strapped to slabs, their skulls wired to machines, they're bombarded with the chapter's litanies, prayers to the Emperor, tales of their primarch, visions of terror's golden spires. Fear is burned away, doubt erased, replaced by a zealot's fire. The space wolves learn Russ's feral howl, the dark angels bear Lionel Johnson's silent fury, the white scars ride the wind like Jagatai Khan. Rituals cement their bond, blood angels sip from chalices of symbolic blood, Black Templars etch vows into their gauntlets, iron hands fuse flesh with augmetics. They emerge as brothers, their humanity a fading echo. Chapters weave their own threads into this tapestry. The space wolves ingest the Sabo Canis helix, their gene seed sparking lupine traits. Canines jut, senses flare, a growl rumbles in their throats. The blood angels risk the red thirst, a psychic scar from Sanguinius that drives them to feast on blood, their angelic faces hiding a beast. The Raven Guard hone stealth, their pale skin and shadow-silent steps, a gift from Corax. The Salamanders endure fire, their coal dark hides and ember eyes, a mark of Vulcan's forge. These quirks, some blessings, some curses, tie each Marine to his primarch's fractured soul. This rite traces back to the Great Crusade, when the Emperor's legions strode the galaxy, a tide of ceramite and fury. The Horus heresy broke that age. Traitor primarchs like Perturabo and Magnus turned their gene sons against the throne, a wound that still festers. Gilliman's Codex Astartes sundered the legions into chapters. Ultramarines, Imperial Fists, Sons of Dawn, a shield against rebellion. The gene seed persists, though corruption gnaws at some lines, the World Eater's savagery, the Thousand Suns' sorcery, while others, like the Grey Knights, gleam with purity. The toll is staggering. 9 in 10 aspirants perish, gutted in trials, torn apart by implants rejecting flesh, or shattered in training's crucible. Those who rise live centuries, their faces unlined by time, but they're no longer human. Joy, love, peace, these are ghosts to them, replaced by the drumbeat of war. When they die, apothecaries kneel amid the gore, slicing out progenoids with reverent hands. The chapter's future outweighs any grief. Yet they are the Imperium's bedrock. 1,000 chapters, flesh-tearers, crimson fists, lamenters, stand as bulwarks against oblivion. One Marine can shred a platoon, his bolter a storm of mass-reactive death, his armor a walking fortress. On hive worlds and demon moons, they roar the Emperor's name, each battle a testament to their purpose. The primarists swell their numbers, but the creed endures. Hold the line, defy the dark, until the last star gutters out. So here they stand, the Space Marines, born of a boy's defiance, a primarch's blood, and an emperor's vision. Their creation is a brutal symphony, a cycle of agony and apotheosis that anchors humanity in a galaxy ravenous for its end. For the Warhammer 40,000 faithful, they are legends incarnate, proof that even in the bleakest void, the fire of war burns undimmed. This is your tale to tell, a sprawling epic of lore and grit, ready to thunder through your mic and seize your audience's souls. Let it ring out, a hymn to the angels of death and the unrelenting splendor of the 41st millennium.